activity. And lastly, we're looking at business strategy. And business strategy is really the crux of any kind of strategizing, because it is where the firm or the organization actually creates and sustains a competitive advantage. It's at the business level. The functional level implements it. Corporate level guides it and directs it, but it's at the business level that we actually create and sustain competitive advantage. The business level is therefore peculiar because it interacts with both the senior level, the strategic corporate level that guides and gives resources, and also with the junior strategic level, the functional, that actually has to implement it. But it's very, very important, because in order for it to create these strategies, these plans, it must get the guidance from above. And in order for these plans to be realized, it must have to use its functional. So it has to create, has to continue to balance those relationships. Business strategies, we often talk about the 4 generic Porter strategies: low cost leadership, differentiation, focus, low cost leadership, and focus, differentiation. And I'm sure you all have read this. We've done it in our forum. I want you to not only go back and look at these, but also look at the advantages and disadvantages of doing any one of these strategies, because they are there. There are pros and cons to doing any one of these strategies. And I've also, as I implied in my questioning to your forum, recognized that this strategy is not only chosen because of the kinds of competencies the firm actually has, but it also chosen based on, or it can be, I should say, influenced by the age of the firm, the type of product that the firm sells, the life cycle of the industry that the firm happens to be in. These forces also may play a part in determining how or what strategy the firm employs. So just be aware of that. But again, go look at these strategies, look at their advantages and their disadvantages. And now we have this 5th strategy. We talk about this hybrid, and this was again very, very crucial to your forum. Michael Porter, when he created these generic strategies, did not consider hybrid as being a possible one or being an effective strategy. He talked about it being, or considered firms that tried to adopt this as ones that were stuck in the middle, not being good at any one thing, or trying to do too many things and ending up being good at nothing. And his argument was largely based upon what he saw a strategy as being all about trade-offs. If I try to be a low-cost leader, then obviously my whole or my primary objective is going to be about increasing efficiency by reducing my cost structure. But if I'm doing that, I am necessarily going to have to take resources away from trying to be the quality or the innovative or the most responsive organization in the industry. And so because of these trade-offs, because not only it was difficult to do everything in terms of having all the resources and capital and time or what have you, but also because trying to do these different goals, that these goals themselves were in conflict with each other, is why Michael Porter saw it as not only being difficult or nigh impossible, but also being an infeasible type of strategy. But now we've seen evidence to suggest that actually hybrids may sometimes work. We have Toyota, we have Dell, and essentially what they are, these hybrids are, they are a balance or a mixture of both low-cost leadership and differentiation. That's important because they are not the most, or they don't have the lowest cost structure. They have a lower cost structure to some competitors in the industry, but they oftentimes don't have the lowest cost structure. And they are differentiated, meaning that they have unique attributes, unique characteristics, and try to serve at least more than one or a few segments of the industry, but they are not the most differentiated. So essentially you're getting a good balance. You're getting a nice combo of good prices, of affordable prices, and good quality, good innovation. There is no essentially element of superiority in either efficiency or quality, innovation, or customer responsiveness. Again, what you have is a nice merger. But once you've been able to find a niche or a segment that supports that and that actually values that, you're likely to be successful. And the benefit of having a hybrid is as well your ability to counter competition on 2 levels. You can either be successful by increasing your prices, by charging more prices because of your differentiation, and that way be successful, be profitable. But you can also be able to increase your profitability by reducing your cost structure. And so because you're able to tackle this profitability issue or this success issue on both angles, it allows you the flexibility in terms of the environment changing on you. Right? If the environment changes on you, if cost, if it's becoming more difficult to premium price, if people aren't valuing that necessarily, because you're following a hybrid strategy, because you are still concerned with efficiency, you have means in your organization in which to reduce your cost. So you can respond to that. But if, for example, you see the opportunities and customers are starting to value these unique attributes again, because you have that level of differentiation, because as a firm you're promoting innovation and quality and customer responsiveness, you're going to be able to respond to that. Pure differentiators cannot respond to those to necessarily as effectively as hybrids to that pressure for cost reduction, because they normally have to sacrifice efficiency for the quality and innovation and customer responses that they need to create in order to attract customers. Similarly, low-cost leaders, when they're faced with customers desiring something more than price, they might have issues in terms of their response because they've concerned themselves so much with efficiency while sacrificing all these other elements that they've found themselves in a quandary. Walmart had this issue before the recession when people had money and people were saying, hey, listen, we like your prices, but we don't necessarily like your quality or your store, your cleanliness, and your customer service. Well, they tried to respond again in order to try to match places like Target, and it wasn't necessarily a success. In fact, if the recession didn't come, we might have seen more of Walmart's failure in terms of responding to this differentiated appeal. But the tables have somewhat turned in that industry now, is because consumers become more price conscious. They're moving away from the Targets and moving back towards Walmart. And Target has found itself, Target being more quote-unquote a pure differentiator, has found itself being in a difficult position attempting to reduce its cost structure in order to offer these low prices, because it really didn't concern itself with efficiency. With respect to a company like Toyota, you see, because they balance both, they can respond more effectively to changes in the in the environment that promote cost consciousness. They can reduce their prices, and even if they don't reduce their prices, because their cost structure can be reduced, they can still be profitable. And when customers start valuing these unique attributes and characteristics, they can respond to that well. They have the hybrid. They're one of the leaders in the hybrids because of their promotion of quality and innovation and customer responsiveness. So that hybrid works on that respect. Now again, the problem may be, if you're running a hybrid, is if it goes too far to, if we're way too price conscious or we're way too differentiated, we're going to lose out on those segments. So that's a danger of being a hybrid, again, because we're not great at any one thing. If the force in the environment change and shift towards either one of those, the ends of those continuums, there's a likelihood that we can lose out because we're not superior at any one thing. But most times that combination, I won't say most times, but it can work. Obviously, it's very, very difficult to do, and with technology and flexible manufacturing, standard unit components and all those things, just in time, companies have been able to do it. But very few companies can do it well, can have that nice mix and blend of efficiency and quality, innovation, and customer responsiveness, price and differentiation. Very, very difficult and challenging, but the companies that have done it have been successful. Okay, and that is the end of our review. Any questions that you have, obviously, please feel free to ask me. Hopefully you would have understood what I said, and you can play this back again and again and try to figure out if you didn't understand what I've said, what I've actually tried to say to you today. So I hope it helps you, and I look forward to some great answers on your examination. Take care.